Hi everybody. So the number four challenge I will be discussing today is what I title the lack of a dedicated, reliable, and consistent set piece taker. Now we all know in football it's not exactly necessary for you to score via open play in the course of 90 minutes alone. You also have the opportunity to turn the fortune of your team around, score goals via dead balls as well. Nigeria today does not have a single player that we can actually tag as a specialist in free kick execution, and that is very shameful. And we all know that in the past we've had some what I call set piece triggered memories, whereby certain players actually stepped up to the ball and produced pure magic. So I will cite a few examples just to jog your memory. Sit back, relax, and keep watching. So, guys, I would cite three different examples to buttress my point about the need for Eric Chelle to, saddle a short list of probably five players with the responsibility of set piece execution. So, remember that beautiful day, that beautiful game, Saturday, 16th November 2013, and the venue was the UJ Usuene Stadium in Calabar. And the fixture, of course, was versus Ethiopia in the Brazil 2014 FIFA World Cup crucial, very crucial qualifier. The Eagles, of course, sealed qualification in grand style via set pieces. So this is the reason why I'm citing this example, because both of the goals were scored via set pieces. The first goal was scored by Chelsea's Victor Moses, who was actually on loan at the time at Liverpool, and he netted a coolly taken penalty from the spot in the 17th minute. And again, the second goal was scored by another Victor, also via another set piece. But this time around, it wasn't Victor Moses, it was Victor Obina Unsofo of Lokomotiv Moscow. He sealed qualification for Nigeria again via another set piece. But this time around, it wasn't just your regular set piece, it was a sublime screamer from long range. The second example I will be citing is that beautiful game, Sunday, February 8th, 2004, and the venue was at the Stade Mustafa Benjanet Stadium. The fixture was the AFCON quarterfinal game. That was a very pulsating, a very difficult game for Nigeria. It was a quarterfinal game versus Cameroon. Of course, Samuel Eto'o's opener early on in the game, made Nigeria a bit uncomfortable. But luckily for us, JJ Okocha replied with this absolute insane screamer of a goal. So this well-executed free kick sent the 18,500 capacity crowd into a state of absolute frenzy. The commentators were in awe of JJ's work of art. So basically, my point here is that all of these beautiful memories would have eluded us as Nigerians without these managers at the time saddling certain players with this game-changing task. And kudos to these players for embracing the assignment and delivering with aplomb. So now you might be thinking, isn't it too late? Isn't it way too late to find a dead ball specialist given the short time to the next fixtures? Trust me, it's not. My answer would be a big no. So all it takes is for Eric Chelle to identify and draw up a short list of up to five players, give them a call if he hasn't already, and saddle them with the responsibilities of dead ball execution. He should give them an assignment of practicing the art of executing dead balls. He should give them the assignment of practicing dead balls, free kicks and penalties especially, and make them realize these assignments would be submitted and assessed when the team regroup in 6 weeks. So when they finally arrive in camp, Chelle should assess each of these five players within close range to rank them accordingly in a pecking order that would be replicated on match days. Yeah, of course, I'm well aware that no player is gonna attain mastery of free kick execution in just 40 to 45 days. So mastery is not the watchword here. What I'm saying is that if Eric Chelle saddles certain players with the responsibility of executing free kick for the national team, so all it takes for those players is to stay back, after every training session at club level and invest as little as 30 to 45 minutes into, free kick execution. It's not going to attain mastery after 40 to 45 days, but I'm very certain 100% it's going to be better off at the end of day 40 than where it was at the beginning of day 1. And trust me, that could just be what we need to qualify for the World Cup. So why not? So I hope you've enjoyed the series so far. So this is the number 5 and final challenge to wrap up the series, and I target the lack of an established right-sided forward. Similarly, this particular problem is an irony as well, because if you think about the options we have on paper, then you would agree with me we are kind of spoiled for choice. But unfortunately and ironically, for some weird reasons, we are yet to have or find that player that would completely own that position. So this is one position Eric Chelle needs to fix. It's a situation Eric Chelle needs to, find a permanent solution to if he intends to make our offensive front three have the required expansivity and width.
From the sleek yet very, very inconsistent Samuel Chukwueze of AC Milan to the insanely talented but injury-prone Chidera Ejuke of Sevilla, to the nimble-footed but frail Nathan Taylor of Bayer Leverkusen. Not to mention the once upon a time Watford rave, of course, Emmanuel Bonaventure Dennis. This is one position the Eagles should not be sweating over normally. If you add outsiders like Lille's Chuba Akpom to the equation, then you will realize how endowed this squad is, with either a natural right-sided wide man or makeshift players. However, and very sadly, in reality, it remains a big challenge. The death of an established right-sided forward has deprived the Eagles of the required width offensively that is needed to stretch opposition defenses to their breaking points. Can you just imagine if an Ademola Lookman were replicated in the opposite wing as well? We would be less predictable and less dependent on the duo of Osimhen and Lookman in crucial games. As a result of the lopsidedness of the front line, the Super Eagles often resort to a narrowed approach of offensive football. This is an approach that often hits a brick wall against very resolute teams. They cut off supplies of final balls to the final third. As a result, such prodigiously talented players like Victor Boniface look ordinary, while hustlers like Osimhen would always need to work thrice as hard for a number 9. No number 9 should be working as hard as Osimhen does. So it's definitely too late to experiment with a complete or relatively newbie at this time. We all remember how the 25th of March 2022 went. A crucial World Cup qualifying fixture versus Ghana, where we handed debut to Calvin Bassey and Ademola Lookman. Despite their very obvious, very, very obvious immense talent, they looked completely out of sorts. Arguably, this impacted the outcome of the game one way or the other. They say insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting a different set of results. We shouldn't go this route again. It would have been safer and more appropriate if we had, international window before the extremely crucial fixtures, just to test the suitability and adaptability of these relatively newbies. So as a result, it's up to Chelle to get into the head of Chukwueze, identify the dead wires in his head, and I really mean that. I literally mean that. Chukwueze is insanely gifted, and there has to be a big reason for turning off on match days for Nigeria especially. But Eric Chelle needs to get into his head, identify the dead wires in there, activate them with a view to triggering the beast mode in AC Milan's winger. If that doesn't work again, then we might as well just deploy Simon Moses as a right-sided forward. At worst, he's going to do a decent job for sure.
So this brings us to the end of the series tagged Eric Chelle's 5 biggest challenges, and I hope you had a blast. If you're watching my channel for the first time, kindly go back to the previous videos I had analyzed the first 3 challenges, so you can get a comprehensive and a very up-to-date feedback and analysis of all the 5 challenges faced by Eric Chelle. And of course, it's going to be a very loaded year between now and October as Nigeria plays 6 World Cup qualifying fixtures. And by December, it's also going to be AFCON. So kindly go to my channel, subscribe, share, like, and comment so that you do not miss, meticulous, unique football analysis like you would never find anywhere else. So looking forward to talking to you and analyzing the beautiful sport again next time. See you around. Bye.